Greetings everyone, it's your old pal Fromark here with the first episode of Fromark Talks of 2025, and originally I wanted to have this episode uploaded and recorded by the beginning of January, but it just didn't quite work out that way, as at the time of recording this, it's mid-February now, and time just kind of got away from me a little bit there, and I haven't been feeling 100% so far this year. Like, I'm doing the best, I feel like I'm doing the best I can, and I'm pushing forward and trying to enjoy life and just trying to work on my goals and resolutions. But some days it can be kind of a struggle. My mental health sometimes gets the best of me, but I'm still here, I'm still alive and fairly well, and I'm still gonna keep making stuff over here on the channel. I'm not going anywhere yet, folks. I still plan on uploading plenty more Fromark plays, plenty more Fromark talks. Sometimes I might have to step aside from time to time if I don't feel 100%, as I need to take care of myself first and foremost. And I hope that you're all staying safe and taking care and doing well in these uncertain times. I will admit the last couple of months I've just felt this overwhelming sense of stress and uncertainty, and I think a lot of that could be solved if I just turned off the news, because every day it's just something stupid and crazy and or something that's meant to distract us, and it's too much. I just need to unplug. But we certainly do live in strange and unprecedented times, and I certainly hope for the best outcomes. But yes, all the holidays from the end of 2025 and the beginning of this year are pretty much over with, and I will admit the crappy weather we've been having in Ohio lately has kind of slowed me down a good bit too, with being able to work on my yard, and it's affected my mood a bit too, because I want to be able to work on my property and I can't most days because it's either pouring down rain or it's snowing and it's like 10 degrees. As much as I enjoy winter and it's my favorite time of year, I've pretty much had my fill of it for the year, because we usually don't get this much snow or wintry kind of stuff in Ohio anymore. The last few years have been pretty tame. But I have continued to work on the yard this year, and main goal for this year is to get the old house knocked down that my grandparents used to live in. It's not fixable, there's not much to save, so I just want to get that knocked down and get that cleaned up as soon as I can, so I can put something good over there. Or on that other lot across the street that I mentioned in the last episode. And the next thing I need to do is make peace with my neighbor, because I got my neighbor big mad at me because I was throwing all my scraps and garbage in their dumpster. And apparently that was a big no-no, because I got chewed out on Facebook about it, and she was all like, "I'm a good neighbor, but I've had my limit. I'm putting up cameras and all this jazz." And I mean, I do want to apologize, and I just haven't had the opportunity to yet. But at the same time, it is a bit silly, in my opinion, because the dumpster's not even on the property that you're living on, for one. For two, it's out in the freaking street, and other neighbors use it too, not just me. But maybe it's just because I used it without permission. Kind of like with all the other trash I got rid of on the property, I would just fill up my trunk and take bags to various dumpsters. You gotta understand, folks, I'm in a financial pickle right now, where 6+ months ago my job cut my hours back, and I've been bleeding financially ever since. So anywhere I can cut corners without getting in trouble, sometimes I'll push those buttons until I can't push them anymore. Eventually, when I do have money, I plan on getting a dumpster. I will get a dumpster of my own, or trash pickup one of these days, and I'm not even really worried about it too much at this point, because other than the house, I've pretty much got all the big stuff gone at this point. It's looking pretty good on both lots. But still, I don't want the neighborhood mad at me, especially one of the good neighbors I have. I don't have very many neighbors, and I especially don't have very many good neighbors. We got some sketchy folk around, but I might as well try to just keep the peace with everybody, because I don't want to start an all-out neighborhood war. But I have been working on my New Year's resolutions this year pretty seriously. I've lost 2 pounds so far this year. I've upped my workouts in the gym. I've gotten back into the habit of doing 10 miles a day on the treadmill, where I used to do 10 miles a day until like halfway through last year, and then I started slowing down a bit again. went back to just 5 miles, and now I'm back up to 10. Now I'm back up to 2 hours, and I feel like I'm slowly starting to see it pay off. I would like to be in the best shape and health I can possibly be in, especially mentally. I need to work on that a bit more. I think a lot of it, I'm just too hard on myself sometimes. I can be my biggest critic, and I have a hard time letting go of things, but I'm only human, and just gotta make improvements where I can. I also set another resolution for this year to try to make myself a bit more knowledgeable. I've been doing a lot more reading here lately. Just different kinds of books, from memoirs to fiction to non-fiction. Just trying to read more. I like to read. I've always been a good reader. I was always kind of a fast reader too. I remember that was one of my better academic qualities in school, is that I could read pretty good. Not the best at comprehension, because I would always try to cut corners on it, but I am a pretty good reader and I like to read. So far I have read 4 books this year. The goal is 10. The goal's 10. And I think I can easily reach that by the end of the year. But yes, I will still continue to make uploads over here on the channel for as long as I can. I have plenty of games already recorded, plenty of stuff in the pipeline, so Fromark Plays, that's not going anywhere. Eventually I'll get back to work on that first album, the Digital Dust as I'm still calling it. I've got all 10 songs pretty much written, and I've started doing some early demos on some of those songs. I don't have a whole lot of music together yet, but at least I've come up with a couple of guitar things so far, and I'm feeling pretty good about it. I'm in no way trying to rush the creative process on this one, because I kind of burned myself out a little bit when I was working on the Honest Lies EP, because it took a little bit longer than I was hoping it was going to take, and I was just trying to push it out the door and make some music and try to make it as good as possible, but I wanted to get it done as soon as possible so I could share it with everyone. But with this project, I'm going to take my time and just try to get it done as carefully, and however much time it takes is however much time it takes. See, I think part of the reason I ran into a bit of trouble in the first place was because I kept trying to set these theoretical release dates, and I kept pushing it back and pushing it back. So this time around, I'm not gonna set anything in stone until I know it's pretty much done. But yeah, there is plenty to look forward to over here on the channel this year, and I hope you had a wonderful batch of holidays at the end and beginnings of this past cycle of 24-25, and I hope once again that you're all staying safe and taking care of yourselves, and this has been Fromark once again, and I will see you in whatever it is I decide to do next over here. Until next time, see you then.